Welcome to episode 2 of Garage Talk. I'm DJ Flook.
I'm Eric Richardson.
And we're back. We don't have to do a long intro this week, so we're going to jump right into the racing talk here. First, NASCAR went to St. Louis, or suburban St. Louis, we'll say. Cup Series for the first time over last weekend. A lot of drama in that race, mainly around Ross Chastain. That was quite funny. We just kind of watched the highlight video of it. Eric, what do you think about, Chastain caused drama, but I mean, he owned up into it at the end, apologized. Generally apologies don't go anywhere in NASCAR as far as other drivers are concerned. So what do you think about that?
Hey, the fact that he owned up to it and said, hey, this is on me. We don't really see that from NASCAR too much. You see drivers all the time talk about moving cars out of the way. What was it, a couple weeks ago in Darlington?
Robbins Racing, all those classic lines.
Who was it? Logano goes in on Byron and kind of pushes him out of the way. And yeah, like you said, Rubbin is racing. You got the bumping. What is it? The love tap. Yes. I haven't heard that one used in a while.
Yes, it was.
So it's been around.
But I think the funniest part of all of that is, he got into Denny Hamlin early. Then later on, he spins Chase Elliott. And then a little bit later on, Elliott comes back and, gives him that little love tap to the side. And then immediately afterwards, Hamlin comes in and gets him right after, like in the last, within 15 seconds after Elliott gets him. There's Hamlin bumping into him as well. And then the next several laps, Hamlin's sitting right in front of him, just not letting him by. And you could see he is just doing everything he can to make Chastain's life miserable. I think, Hamlin being the owner of Bubba Wallace's 23 got caught up in the Chase Elliott spin earlier. So, he's upset at Chastain already. But then he's also upset because Chastain also took out his car that he owns as well. So, Denny Hamlin, pretty upset.
Yeah, and, I'm good with giving a little bump or give him a little rub like, hey, you can't do that. Main thing I don't want to see is just intentionally taking somebody out.
I agree. I mean, that's
the biggest thing. I don't want to see any of the drivers get hurt. It's fun to see these kind of on-track rivalries. I remember back in the day with Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and Dale Jarrett, and Mark Martin, all these guys. I remember watching Rusty Wallace. He would bump cars. And
Tony Stewart in his early years would get upset at everybody. Kurt Busch, in his early years, would get upset at everybody. I mean, it was... Especially, you go to Bristol. I mean, there was just fireworks, guaranteed fireworks. You go. I mean, this sport is kind of, not critical of it, but it's tamed down over the years that the drivers you don't see that fire.
It has definitely changed. I think the biggest one that you can jump out to is the night race at Bristol. If you didn't see somebody throwing their heel heat guards or helmet or standing at the apron flipping off a car as they drive by.
We did have that in an Xfinity race last weekend, actually. Sheldon Creed got taken out, and he gave the double bird to the car. I forget who the driver was, but he expressed his displeasure with the driver who took him out of the race. It was I haven't seen that in a while. I think that what the more shocking thing to me about that part too was NASCAR actually put a photo on their social media and it said like the bird's the word, uncensored of the double finger. I'm like, wow, NASCAR, that's pretty edgy for you, at least lately.
Yeah. I mean, if they can get back to some of that, show your anger, then when you leave the track, just move on. I think some of it now too, we see these kind of retaliations or grudges, they last for weeks on end, and it can affect the racing a little bit.
It's good. I mean, it creates drama, it creates interesting storylines. Ultimately, it's more interesting for the fans. We don't want to turn this into wrestling or boxing or anything like that, or make it phony.
Good hard racing. Let's
absolutely. That's part of why people started following racing is you have those intense rivalries on and off the track. So
There's
uh,
rivalries, you have the drama, just the action, and fast cars.
yes. On speaking of fast cars, Formula One was off last week, but IndyCar went to Belle Isle up in your neck of the woods for the last time for now. Well, yeah, maybe it'll come
Yeah,
back someday, but
unfortunately, I wasn't able to get over to the race at Belle Isle. It was the last time that they're racing on the island. It's been what 30 years that they've been racing there.
sounds about
I
right.
think Nigel Mansell might have won the first race. I remember
Also
that
sounds about
correctly.
right.
They
Yeah.
are going back to the streets of downtown next year, though, so that's going to be really exciting.
I mean, Eric, you live out that way. You've been onto it. Like, explain for those who don't. Like, Belle Isle is actually an island that sits
Yeah,
in the
it's
Detroit
an
River. Like,
island
explain.
in the Detroit River. You go over the bridge to get onto the island. And when you get to the other side of it, you look across, and there you have Windsor over in
Yeah,
Canada.
it's Canada. I mean, you look out across the river, you're looking at Canada.
And
It's
it's close enough that to start the race, it was not just the US national anthem, they also played the Canadian national anthem.
I mean, if you can see the other country from your seat, you might as well play both.
Yeah, it's right there. And, it's a fun area. They have the oldest aquarium on the site there. There used to be a zoo. They still have a rowing club. It's a fun
I mean,
little
it's a
area.
park. It's basically a park, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an awesome park, just a fun place to get away from. And we
And
walked to a lighthouse there, and you didn't know you were in downtown Detroit.
and you're and you put up some guardrails and some bleacher seating, and you have a racing circuit there too. I mean, you were there like months after, and you could still see the tread of the tire, like you
Oh
of
yeah,
the
driving
cars.
around and walking around. It's like, oh, I know what went through here. You have the black marks from the tires and all the tire wear. It was
I,
cool.
I think that's my favorite part about these, like, I mean, it's not a city, but like these street circuits, that I guess is the better way to call it. I'll be going through Long Beach here in a couple of weeks. I'm planning on checking out, going through and kind of tracing that out in my car as much as I can. Some of it goes on private property, so I won't be able to do a full tour, but most of it is city streets. And it's fun to see, like, these are businesses and residents, and there's, convention centers and everything, just, steps away from this course. And you've got cars breaking 100 miles an hour on these city streets with some of the best drivers in the world. And I just think it's just so cool that, IndyCar does it. Formula One obviously does it quite a bit. And that'd be awesome. There's rumors that NASCAR has kind of talked about doing something like that. One of the rumors is Chicago, and in iRacing, they have a Chicago street circuit that they created around the Millennium Park, Michigan Avenue, Lakeshore Drive part near Soldier Field as a track. And they've actually had some rumored preliminary discussions of actually making that into a real race someday. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be a disaster for Chicago traffic for a week or two. But from a fan standpoint, I would love to see something like that with NASCAR on a city street.
Yeah, that would definitely be something very exciting. Like you said, traffic in Chicago, it's already a nightmare.
It's
So
bad. I lived there
to
for
shut
almost a
down
decade.
to shut down some of the major roads to run a race, you're gonna make some people happy, and I think you are going to irritate a lot of people as well.
Yeah, well, Chicago tried to host the 2016 Olympics and lost that bid, but there was a lot of concern by people opposing that bid that for the 3 weeks that the Olympics would be held, that Chicago would basically come to a standstill from all the games and all the closures they'd have to do to set up the facilities. So I guess, they kind of dodged one there by not having to do that. But still, I mean, that would have been cool. But anyway, kind of ran long on that first segment, moving directly into iRacing. We don't have a total announcement to make yet, but we're exploring fielding an entry for the Daytona 24-hour race next year. So Eric, this is something that just kind of came up randomly that we talked about and said, what do you think, Eric?
I think it could be a lot of fun. Definitely something different. Another way to continue getting FR racing out there. It's a different type of car. We're looking at the GT3s or even the kind of supercars that they run. We've been primarily in the DW12, IR18 Indy cars, the next gen car, and we're getting into trucks now. So it'd be a brand new car for us to learn as well.
And, of course, if we're going to do something like that, we have to document the process. We have to, video updates, training, show the process. We're very big. Like our whole mission is to show our processes through our development and our learning and show you the mistakes we make, which we make a ton of them.
We know we're not professionals, so take what we say with a grain of salt. But if we can, like we said before, if we can kind of share what we're learning as we go, then hopefully we're helping out somebody out there.
So, yeah, don't do what we do. Or hopefully that turns into do what we do someday. But right now it's don't do what we do. So that's kind of our mission. So moving on to Wednesday Night Dash, speaking of don't do what we do, or at least from my perspective, we bit off a challenge this week. We went to Circuit of the Americas, which is Austin, Texas, in the trucks, which was very challenging. It's probably the most focus I've had in a race yet that we've done. Richard Hurst won the pole. He was our winner last week at Atlanta. Zach Voles, who's one of our early joiners of Wednesday Night Dash, broke through and got his first win. So really excited for him.
Yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah. So we put up a reel yesterday of him, burning up those tires at the end, celebrating. So we're really, really excited about that. But Eric, what are your thoughts about why do we keep doing this to ourselves, putting ourselves on these tracks?
It's a good thing, I think, that we do these, because it definitely challenges you to be a better driver and not just be able to turn left and go in circles. And for what we're doing with Wednesday Night Dash, we have kind of a variety: short tracks, long tracks, super speedways, road courses,
dirt.
Yeah, we're going dirt here at Bristol. That might be the weirdest decision we've made there. But it really shows who is well-rounded, at least within the Wednesday Night Dash series.
Our scheduling process is very informal. When we sit down to finalize the schedule, or we don't finalize it. We put together an 8-race schedule, and then we kind of put it. Now we've been putting it up to the group and say, hey, here's what we're thinking. Anybody have any thoughts on the matter? And if it's no complaints, then we lock it in. And it's sit down one evening, have a couple of brewskis, and just start laughing. It's like, hey, let's go to Bristol, but we're going to do the dirt track.
Yeah, I don't know what we were thinking with that one. That is, I may take the night off. I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
A couple drivers did actually with Coda. So I don't blame them. Once I got to about lap 11 or 12, I was just like, you know what? I'm about to pull off and just say, heck with this. But a week ago, I was like, there's no way I'm getting through 15 laps here. Like, I can't even get through one. But just staying patient and trying to watch some other videos on YouTube and just getting a feel out for the track. Ended up feeling pretty good. I know I ended up finishing in 4th. I did have one spin during the race, which I'm surprised it was only one. But I felt actually pretty comfortable. And I think doing the little Formula One adventure race, 5 laps that we did, 6 laps. That actually helped. It was a good learning experience. I said, like, okay, what's the best way to learn a track? Get out there and race on it. And not the best solution. Since it was just the two of us out there, okay, but it's like, don't go and insert yourself onto a brand new track that has we more than 10 turns. Don't do that. Don't do that. But in a hosted session with 2 people, fine.
And speaking of iRacing and Formula One, we're looking at once a month doing a Formula One race.
Yeah, we get up early one Saturday or Sunday morning, and we do a once a month Grand Prix. Maybe schedule it on an off weekend for Formula One, since in the States, they tend to be most of the time be very early. So in it's, when there's an off week, maybe we jump in and do our own little F1 race in iRacing. So still kicking the tires on that one. Again, another racing pun. But keep an eye on it. We'll post about it on our social media and our website. So be sure to check that out. So final thoughts. We're going to Charlotte next week.
Yeah, it's going to be much easier track. We've been on it before in the next gen cars. There is a touch of difficulty to it, but definitely not anywhere near what a road course brings.
Coming out of turn 4 is always my concern at Charlotte.
So far in the trucks, it's been a much better experience than the next gen cup cars.
I agree. I mean, Coda is not exactly a good apples to apples, but the cup car in Watkins Glen was challenging enough. So the other thing we're going to test, we're going to do this weekend, we're going to do a test on our stream. We'll stream it, and we're going to test out the new restart zone functionality that iRacing released last week and see how that works out. Hopefully, if we can implement a restart zone, if it works out okay, then that should clarify some of our coming to green questions that we always seem to get every race with. Do we start on green? Is it driver's call? But
the restart zone will be fun if that works out pretty well. I'm excited to just kind of get to play around with it this weekend.
So keep an eye out on that. Probably sometime on Saturday evening. Once we get that time locked in, we will finalize that. So closing thoughts, Eric.
Wow. I'm having fun with Wednesday Night Dash and just everything else that we're getting involved in. Can't wait to see where it goes, and I'm definitely looking forward to Charlotte here and getting back onto an oval.
Yeah, me too. So closing that out, check out frracingonline.com for our blog. We have a merchandise store now. We don't have any Wednesday Night Dash merchandise yet. We should probably talk about that later.
Yeah, it's something we can definitely look into.
Yeah, I think people would be interested in that. The ratings are definitely going up, which is awesome. So we've been doing a better job hyping it. And I'm very, very happy. Thank you, everybody who's been watching it live at 10 p.m. Eastern on a Wednesday night. So thank you. Keep watching. We'll keep trying to entertain as best as we can.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for tuning in and following along with us as we learn and grow. Hopefully stick with us, and thank you for all your support.
So on that note, at FR Racing Online on all major social medias. Subscribe to our YouTube and Twitch channels, and check out Wednesday Night Dash, 10:15 p.m. Eastern time on Stadium Scene most weekends. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Yeah, thank you all. See ya.